Hello and welcome to our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 42.
This morning we slept in quite a bit because of our very eventful laundry experience last night. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you got to go back and watch yesterday's video because it was an ordeal over here at Boardwalk Villas. Thankfully, it all worked out in the end, but we were very tired and got to sleep in a little bit this morning with our late checkout at 1 p.m. So we got up, started getting ready, packed all of our bags up, and called Bell Services to transfer our luggage. That's when we found out that Bell Services had already left for the day with the transfers because they usually leave around noon. And it's now nearly 1 o'clock, so we didn't really know what to do with that. So Alyssa decided to head up to the front to talk to the person at Bell Services in person and figure out what our options were so we could get things transferred, because we need to get over to Contemporary Resort because we have a Lakeview club level room there in the Atrium Club. We're super excited about going there. Another club level stay. Of course, that's always super exciting. And Contemporary, we've never stayed there. This one's been on our bucket list forever, especially Main Tower. So we're super pumped about it, but now we got to figure out what to do about the luggage first.
Because again, we can't just take it all ourselves. That really wouldn't work. So I went up to Bell Services and I was able to talk to the man in charge, and he said we can take it, but it's going to arrive sometime late. So they guarantee the luggage by 5 o'clock. However, he said what would happen is they would have to wait for whoever left with the luggage already to come back at the end of the day. Then they would take a special trip over there and get our luggage. So he apologized, but just said it would be later. That's fine with us because we have our small suitcases with us, which means we have a change of clothes. We have our basic things we need. We just need to get our luggage at some point.
Those small suitcases are made for this situation. If we have something that happens that makes our luggage late, in this case, us getting it to them late, it's okay because we're all set with the small ones. So we said, okay, that's great. Can you just send someone down to get the bags as soon as you can, and we'll transfer them that way.
So we did learn something new today, and hopefully that helps you. If you are transferring resorts and have a late checkout, that could cause a problem. So just something to think about. After all this, I go back to the room. They came, got our luggage for us, and then we grabbed our last few things before heading out of the room. And that's when Robert noticed something.
Robert noticed something terrible. So one of the last things that I do when we leave the room is I get our items out of the safe. And there are two things in the safe in every single room that we put there. One is a manila envelope that has our passports, birth certificates, and social security cards in there because that is all we really have. We don't want to leave it in the car all the time, and we're kind of homeless right now, so the safe seemed like the best option for us to keep that. The other is a stack of cash that we use for tipping Bell Services and things like that. We have that money because we don't have an ATM in network here on property, and we also had sold our phones earlier, so we had all the cash from that. And what I would do is carry $50, $60, $70 in my pocket, and then once I ran out of that, I would get more out of the safe and just carry that around. So I'm not always carrying around, several hundred or $1,000 or whatever. So I opened up the safe, and when I went to open it, it was already open, and that was very concerning. So then I pulled it open, and it was totally empty, and that was even more concerning. So I'm just about to go into a full-blown panic attack here and freak out because we don't have the extra money to lose that cash. And also, our passports, birth certificates, and social security cards are in there. So it's money and identity theft at this point. So I start freaking out, but I have to calm down. Okay, where would I have put it besides the safe? I look in my computer bag. Maybe I would have stuck it in there or something. And I start thinking back. A couple days ago, when we moved into the room here at Boardwalk, we did something unusual that we have not done before and thankfully have never done since. And that is we took our luggage and walked it over from Yacht Club to Boardwalk. Not only was that a very long and difficult walk, making several trips with our suitcases, but it also threw off our normal routine because we had gotten into a nice routine of changing rooms. Bell Services comes, they take the bags, we grab the few bags we have left, the small ones, I grab the things out of the safe, I put the backpack on my back, we walk out the door. It was this perfect routine that we'd done a dozen times already, and it didn't happen this time. So I thought, okay, I don't have any memory of removing those items from the safe at Yacht Club. But that was like 3 days ago now. So why haven't they called us to say they found something in the safe?
We did think that was really odd because we had heard if they find something in the safe, they call whoever was there to let them know they found it. and we had not heard from them at all.
And also, if it didn't, well, maybe they weren't sure whose it was, our identification is literally in the safe. So they should have been able to figure out whose it was. So now I'm a little more worried than I was before, but try to calm down. Don't freak out. We're just going to go over there and see what's what. So we put our small suitcases in the car like we normally would, and we walked over to Yacht Club instead of driving because we didn't want to have to deal with trying to go through security and be like, no, we're only here to like try to get what's in the safe, and just we just walked.
We also had to like calm our
nerves.
nerves.
We had to be able to breathe a little bit. So we walked over to Yacht Club, went to the front desk, and I told Alyssa, I'm like, okay, you talk to the manager. I need to just sit here in the lobby in the chair and just sit, because we can't go up to club level and talk to them because you have to have a key card or a magic band that is linked to a club level reservation to take the elevator to the club level floor. So I was like, you talk to the manager, see what you can figure out, and I'll just sit here and wait because I can't deal with that.
I actually stayed really calm during all this, which is actually amazing because I think I freaked out more after this whole situation, which is kind of crazy, but I stayed calm like most of the time. So I went up and talked to the front desk cast member and explained what had happened. And she said, well, I have no control over getting you up to club level, so let me go get my manager. So she went, got her manager, explained the situation again, and he said, okay, we cannot take you up there, but I can call club level and they can send someone down who has access to club level and take you up there. So he called club level, explained what was going on. They said, okay, we will send someone down. We are actually all busy at this moment helping other people here in club level. It's gonna be a few minutes. If they can just wait, we'll send someone down. That's fine. We will wait as long as it takes.
We will wait hours if we have to, because I got to get up there and see if the stuff's still in the safe. And at this point, the waiting is, I'm not sure if it's worse to wait or worse to get up there because I'm terrified of what we might find or not find when we get up there.
So we waited about 15 minutes. And so this whole process actually was a decent ordeal because it was about 15 minutes explaining everything, talking to them, about 15 minutes waiting. Someone came down and said, we are going to have to take you up there. You're going to have to stay near the desk because you are not allowed to get any food, any drink, nothing like that. And we're like, we're not here to get food and drink. Believe me when I say the money in there is more important to us and worth a lot more than your food and drink.
Yeah, they were really overemphasizing the fact that we can't use the lounge or get any of the snacks or anything while we're there.
We don't want any of it.
I'm literally checking into contemporary club level as soon as I leave here. So I don't care about your stuff in the lounge. I just want to get to the room and check the safe.
But we were not allowed in the room until they had the head of housekeeping and then they had the manager of club level. Both of them had to be there at the same time, as well as a housekeeper. So 3 people had to be there with us to make sure that all the stories were accurate. No one was stealing anything that they shouldn't have. Well, the manager of housekeeping was dealing with something at the moment, so we had to wait for her. And then manager of club level was dealing something as well. By the time they got everyone together, it was a whole process. We all get in there, get in the room, and I mean, the tension was high.
It was very high.
Both of us, just our nerves at this point. This was the point where I was like, this is make or break. Is there something in there? We don't know.
And I did have a slight relief when we walked in because I saw on the bed a towel in the shape of a Mickey head, telling me no one is staying in this room right now, and possibly no one has stayed in this room since we were here. But the housekeeping manager and the front desk manager were there. They brought a key, the master key that opens the safe, and they were going to use it. They said, hang on, before we use the key, and we have to verify, like, you tell us what it is, and then we tell you, like, if it is or not. Just try your combination that you did when you stayed here, and if the combination works and it opens, then we know it's yours, and you're all set. So I punched in the combination, I hit the button, I turned the lock, and I went to open it, and it opened. I was like, okay, it opened, and our stuff was sitting right there. I was like, oh my goodness. I almost fell on the floor.
I about started to cry because I was doing well up to this point, but the moment when we walked in that room was really, this was make or break. It was either in there or wasn't. And we didn't have a plan for if it wasn't. There was no backup plan.
I'd already started trying to think through backup. There's really not a backup plan for that.
And so when he opened it up and it was there, all of that emotion was just being released. It was so amazing and so wonderful. The cast members were happy for us. They cheered. We cheered. It was like we had a party in this room.
It was just, I cannot describe the emotion that I felt right then because, all the stress and the worry was
They were so happy for us. And
gone.
They did go and look because the head of housekeeping wanted to know why it hadn't been checked. And she said, hey, just want to let you know, no one has stayed in this room since, which is why you didn't get a call. Because the way the safe is in that specific room, the door is shut, even if it's open, because it's inside a cabinet. So just no one knew. And we did find out as well, housekeeping does not have a key or any way to get into a safe. So even if they had figured it out and found it, they would have had to go through the entire process just like we just did. The head of housekeeping, a manager, everyone has to be in there to check it and verify what's in there. They call the person that was in there before, have to verify what was in there, explain, and then they'll send it to you. Because we were there, we were able to get it. It all worked out. And all the emotion is just like...
And again, we had a learning experience. We learned what happens if you leave something in a safe at Walt Disney World.
We have learned so much in 24 hours.
I don't think I want to learn anything else. I think I just want to go and relax and just sleep or something. Like I'm done with learning experiences for a while. I really am.
We hope this helps you. You've learned so many things about if you leave something in a safe, if you're transferring luggage and you're staying a little longer in your room. Like, you're learning so many things.
All kinds of new stuff today. It's wonderful. So we walked back over to Boardwalk where our car was parked. Very much happier and more relieved and at ease than we did walking over to Yacht Club in the first place. Hopped in our car and drove over to Contemporary to check in, hoping to make it in time for the afternoon snacks. So we get there, and in the lobby at Contemporary, we're just a couple days before Valentine's Day, they have these Valentine's Day cakes in the lobby that the bakery team had put together. They were impressive.
They were celebrating Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. I'm sorry, not Valentine's Day.
Valentine's
They were all
Day.
villain-themed cakes.
Someone was really proud of that.
It was clever, but it was really cool to see all the cakes there. Anytime the bakery team does something at the resorts, I'm always so blown away by it and just amazed at the talent they have that I do not have.
After admiring the bakery team's work, we were really hungry at this point. We have just had a very, very, very full day that has just started, it feels like. So we went to the front desk to check in, and because we're club level, they called someone, said, hey, they're here. Club level sent someone down to escort us up to the 12th floor where club level is that we were staying. And it's just so fancy. Like, you just feel
so special.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to send someone to fetch you. Like, oh, great. They can
escorted upstairs.
Escort me to the lounge, you know. So we get up there to the 12th floor. Again, you have to have the key card to get to that floor. And we started asking questions because we do that everywhere we go, especially when it's the first time, trying to learn things and find things out as they're checking us in for our room. We found out that this club level was actually one of 2 club levels at Contemporary, which was kind of confusing looking on the website. It wasn't very clear to me. This was the Atrium Club. So this is the 12th floor at Contemporary, right there at the very top of the atrium in the building. So if you're looking out over the edge of the balcony railing there, you are looking down all the way to the monorail. It is very, very high up there. Alyssa learned in this one that this is not the floor
We're still learning things.
she wants to stay on. The second club level at Contemporary is the Tower Club. So that one's the 14th floor, and it's above the 12th floor. There is no 13th floor. You know how hotels are with their superstitions and stuff. But the 14th floor Tower Club does not have a view down into the atrium. It just has a solid floor. That one is very different as far as the lounge layout and the rooms, because almost all the rooms on that floor are suites. You have the presidential, the vice presidential, and all the 1 and 2 bedroom suites up there. And then you also have 4 or 5 of those regular rooms that you would have in the floor below it. Slightly different layout. And those rooms are a little more expensive than the Atrium Club rooms. We didn't get to go see the Tower Club at this point, but they said maybe we'd be able to go see it later on if it's not too busy up there. So we're going to try and see if we can go check that out, because we want to compare the two. Even though we're not staying up there on the 14th floor, you don't get access to both. You only get one or the other.
After getting all checked in upstairs, we started heading to our room, and this is when I found out I do not like staying on the 12th floor. Not because of the club level, very much enjoyed that, but I don't like heights. And I'm okay in some situations as far as like being on a balcony in our room and looking out. I'm fine with that. But the idea of looking straight down 12 floors and seeing the tracks to the monorail, that's terrifying. I did not enjoy that. Robert thinks it's funny, and it's okay now because I'm not staying there.
You're not there right now, yeah.
But I actually did walk against the wall every time I went to club level and to our room. I did not enjoy staying up there.
It was
if you
really...
were afraid of heights, this is not the club level for you. Seriously, it was awful.
And when you were walking against the wall, it was really funny to me because housekeeping would have a cart out there up against the wall. So now she has to get there and she's like scurry around the cart back to the wall again to get to the room. So
I did not want to see over the wall at all. I did not want to see any
she's
part of it.
She's trying to like look at the wall while she's walking down the wall, and yeah, it again, heights If you don't like them,
No.
don't book 12th floor at Contemporary Atrium Club, but you can book Tower Club. Tower Club, you don't have the issue with heights as long as you're looking out and it's okay with that from the balcony. Obviously, if you can't look out from the balcony, just don't book club level at Contemporary
Don't book a
in
tall
the main
building.
tower. Yeah, that's you might want to go to another resort, maybe Grand Floridian or Polynesian or something. So when we got to the room, we of course had to take our pictures of all the details in the room. First time staying at this resort, and we didn't really know what to expect. One thing we were really surprised by were the lack of hidden Mickeys in the room or any
that's
characters
sad.
at all. We were kind of surprised. We did later on find a single hidden Mickey in the room in the shower curtain. It's white on white, so it's really hard to see. It's just a different texture on the curtain, but there is one hidden Mickey there, so it's not completely devoid of Disney in the rooms. We took our pictures, we took our 360 pictures, and then we did our room tour live on Facebook. We've got 2 queen beds in this room, one here and then one right over there. And then there is actually a pulled down sofa that turns into a twin bed as well, similar to the one we had in the last room. This is the exciting part that we were looking forward to as well in this room is the view. We open up our sliding door here and we've got a nice balcony with a view of the rest of the Contemporary property here, the pools, and over there on the right is Wilderness Lodge. You can see across Bay Lake. We've got Bay Lake Tower here on the left. And as usual, you can find a link to that down in the description below and up there as well.
Now, one thing we did show in the video was this really pretty tray of desserts that we found in our room when we checked in. We thought this was because we were club level. Oftentimes they'll have something really different, unique. For each person that stays club level, they'll have a little treat for you. We're like, oh, okay, that's for club level. When we went back to the desk at club level, we thanked them for the desserts and they said, we haven't given you your dessert yet for staying here. And they handed us a really pretty box of chocolates that had the Contemporary on it. And they said, this is your box of chocolates. I'm like, well, what's in our room then? There's this really pretty white chocolate monorail and chocolate covered strawberry. It's just a really pretty tray of things. And they're like, oh, that's from the resort. That's not from us. Oh, okay, that's new.
Double treats. I'm up for that. Yeah.
Chocolate, woohoo! And it was so pretty. The detail in this thing was amazing. So we actually emailed the manager and thanked him for the treats and just said, it was a really rough day. This meant a lot to us. We really appreciate it. We got a response from the manager who replied, we try to make magic randomly for guests who stay here. And I actually got a call from the manager at Yacht Club letting me know what a rough day you had had. So we wanted to make sure that your stay here was better. So we sent you those treats to hopefully make your day better. And I was like, oh my goodness, that was so sweet. The fact that the manager at Yacht Club thought to call the manager at Contemporary, manager at Contemporary wanted to do something for us. It's the magic of Disney. It's why we love Disney so much. The cast members really are the ones that make magic. They are the reason that Disney has magic there. We loved it so much. And it was just the sweetest way to just say, hey, I hope you have a better day. It was this really sweet, thoughtful gift.
And it was really good treats too.
It was really good.
They were really, really good. So at this point, we're finally done with our room tours and we're done with talking to the club manager about those treats and all these different things. We're starving. We are so ready. We were ready to eat hours ago. We're so ready to eat. It took us so long to get here to the room from our other ordeal over at Yacht and Boardwalk that we are thankfully just in time now for the dinner or appetizers or hors d'oeuvres, whatever you want to call them in the evening. And we were very happy to find out that there was enough food in what they put out there at Contemporary for us to totally make a meal out of it. There was a lot there. There were some cold hors d'oeuvres and cheeses and veggies, things like that you would normally find. I think they had a shrimp cocktail that day as well. But then they also had a steak that was these strips of steak in a pan
really
that
good.
were delicious. They also had the kids section over there, had some mac and cheese. So I had steak and mac and cheese. That was a perfect meal for me. I was very happy with that. And then I noticed in the corner, they had rolls and peanut butter and jelly in little glasses. Apparently, that's a thing with club level, we're finding out, where you have a glass of PB&J and a roll and you can make your own sandwich. But again,
Maybe that's why we like the peanut butter and jelly shooter so much.
I don't want to make a sandwich.
They're basically the same thing, but you don't have to make anything.
Right.
That's literally what it is.
I mean, we also had them first though, and we liked them when we had them first. So
Maybe
they
we're just lazy.
they are inherently good. That's I wasn't
we
gonna
don't want to
say
make our
it.
own peanut butter and jelly.
I wasn't gonna say it, but you know, we're club level. We fancy. We don't want to make sandwiches.
So after completely filling our plates with very delicious food, we went and sat down, and right next to us, another couple sat down. They had gotten some wine. They set the glasses down, and it was sunset. We're on the 12th floor. It was this gorgeous view of these two really pretty glasses with the sunset. So I took this amazing picture, and right after I took the picture, I turned to Robert, and we were talking about the picture I just took and how pretty it looked without editing or anything. And a cast member comes and picks up the glasses. I was like, no, 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 no. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, were these yours? I'm like, no, but they just brought them. I think they want them. And right then the couple comes back, they're like, oh, are we not allowed to sit there? She's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I was just trying to clean up. They were so on top of things. They were cleaning up things that didn't even need to be cleaned.
Yep.
It was the funniest thing. And so the couple thanked us for saving their drinks that they had just gotten because they wanted to have them. After finishing our food, we actually stayed in the club level lounge because we were waiting to see the fireworks from Happily Ever After. It's a beautiful view up there. We love it so much. Robert was ready to take pictures.
He was so
prepared.
ready. The club level lounge faces Magic Kingdom. It's right there on that side of the building. It's got a couple balconies out there. I brought my tripod down with my camera on it, and it's a real small balcony for that, but I could stand the tripod up kind of tight and get some long exposure pictures of the fireworks from here. So I was ready. I was waiting for it, and while I'm waiting, of course, I'm having another plate of food because it was really good and we were really hungry. So why not have a second plate while we're sitting here?
And while we were waiting, I actually started talking to one of the cast members who was working in club level, and she started asking where we were from, and of course that starts the whole, well, we're from Disney World because we live here. And all of a sudden she stopped and goes, wait a second, I follow you on Instagram. And she goes, I thought you looked familiar, but I didn't want to assume you were someone. And so then she grabbed another friend of hers. She goes, do you remember that couple I was telling you about? This is them. And so we ended up just chatting. We had a really nice time, and we actually got to know each other really well. We talked each day we were there. They were so much fun. At this point, it's time for fireworks. They do pump in the music on the balconies. You've got the fireworks going off. It is just this absolutely beautiful display and just a very different way to experience Happily Ever After. We love watching Happily Ever After. We love the fireworks, but we've seen it a lot. So we've seen the projections. We've seen it from, of course, Main Street. Now we get to watch it from a different point of view, and we always just enjoy seeing it from somewhere else.
Yeah, this is very similar to watching it from like California Grill, which is a couple floors up and on the end of the building. A little bit of a different angle here that I think I kind of like a little bit better. The only thing is, it is a little bit crowded on that balcony. So you got to keep in mind, if you want to watch from the balcony at the club level lounge there, you probably want to get there a couple minutes early and secure your spot because there's not a ton of room there, so you want to get there a little early. It is definitely the best view of any of the other resorts as far as the club level lounge. I love the view from Wilderness Lodge where you have the Contemporary and the castle. You can see them both, but being that close to Magic Kingdom and the fireworks and stuff,
really
no one else can touch that. It's just right there. It's perfect.
And the beautiful thing about watching the fireworks from the club level lounge at Contemporary is you then turn around and it's time for dessert. And they're all displayed, very pretty out there. We were one of the first ones there. We got really pretty pictures. Of course, they had Rice Krispie treats. They had these really pretty macaroons. They had these little chocolate caramel assorted shots. They had quite a few different things, but our favorite thing was the adult chocolate chip cookie. Now, we had been told about this chocolate chip cookie, and when we were told about it, the cast member just kept going on and on about how amazing these cookies are. But then they told us what was in them, and we were like, why would you ruin a chocolate chip cookie? That doesn't sound good at all.
Right, and just to clarify, adult meaning grown up, not adult beverages. This is
just
not
what they
an
called
alcoholic cookie of some kind. No, it's just a grown up cookie that has much more than just chocolate chips in it.
So along with having chocolate chunks, there were also craisins, which I enjoy craisins, so I'm okay with that. But I also had pistachios in it, and I wasn't okay with that. I'm like, that's so weird. And then they had some sea salt on it. I'm like, okay. But it just seemed like a lot of stuff. And so we had to try it because, I mean, we were told about these cookies. So we each grabbed one. We're like, all right, we're going to try this cookie and see how it goes. I think I ate half a dozen of them.
Yeah, we went back up and we got basically all the cookies they had left. We asked, like, are you getting more? They said, yeah, we'll bring more out. I was like, okay, great. You get more. I'm taking all of these.
They were warm because they're underneath a warmer. And they were so good. I mean, the cast member raved about them. We were very judgmental about them. We were wrong. Cast member was right. We were wrong. We should have known. They were the most amazing cookies. And I know we just keep talking about them, but seriously, that's how much we loved them.
If they sold those cookies in the gift shop or the bakery and like the Contemporary Contempo Cafe downstairs or anything like that, I would literally buy them by the dozen. I don't care what price tag Disney puts on them because they are phenomenal cookies.
I don't know why they're so good though. Like, I don't know why they were so delicious. but that ended up being our favorite dessert of the night. All these other options that we have, and that was the one we love so much. So again, cast members always right. We're wrong. We should have known better. But I'm so glad we took their advice. I'm so glad they told us about the cookies so we could try them.
I don't know if I would have tried it otherwise, because I'm one of those people, don't you dare put a cookie in front of me that looks like a chocolate chip cookie and turns out to be oatmeal raisin, because I got nothing against oatmeal raisin cookies, but when I'm expecting a chocolate chip cookie, not cool.
That causes trust issues.
Right, so this one had craisins in it, which is similar, right? And the craisins, I would have taken a bite of that and been like, oh, there's craisins. I would have been so mad. So knowing what I was getting into made it all the better. So we are about to end our night, but we still have that Princess Half Marathon looming. We are under a week to go. It's coming up on Sunday. So we need to try and get some more steps in, get some more miles in. So we decided to take the walking path downstairs, took the elevator down to the first floor because we're not taking the stairs. That is our rule. We try to take the stairs everywhere we go. 12th floor is not one of those. That's an exception to the rule. So we took the elevator down to the main floor, walked outside and took the walking path that goes around the buildings there at Contemporary over to Bay Lake Tower and back. We're gonna walk a couple laps of it, and when we first got outside, we found they had a giant checkers board out there in the patio area. We had no idea that was there.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the checkers are there, so you can play a giant game of checkers if you want. Of course, we weren't going to stop and do that. We had to keep walking. We walked over to the edge of the walking trail by the end of the buildings there at the garden wing, and just in time saw the water pageant, the electrical water pageant out there. It was great. We love stopping and watching it. It's a classic. You know, we just stopped there, watched it for a couple minutes, and then we continued on with our walking because, again, we got to get those miles in.
And after quite a few more laps, thankfully it was nice and cool in the evening, we took the elevator back up to the 12th floor and ended our night because we have had a very long, emotional day today, as well as last night. It's time to get some real sleep, some actual rest. So that was the end of our day today, and we'll see you tomorrow
for our Year with the Ears.